everybody? Thank you for tapping in with me again today. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Cleveland. So in this video, I want to talk about feeding our fish live fish. Is that a good idea? What do you think? Do you think feeding your fish live fish is a good idea? Do you do it? Let me know in the comments down below if you feed your fish live fish. So most of us, we promote not feeding our fish live fish. Now, that being said, I do believe there are special occasions when you should feed your fish live fish. Only if your fish won't eat anything else. So, I have two fish that I have been currently feeding live fish. And, you know, there's multiple ways of getting your fish off live fish. But I know when you first get your fish, like I just did, the most important thing is to keep your fish alive. So when you spend all your money on the fish that you really want, you know, you want to keep that fish alive. You're not going to sit up there, and I don't recommend you taking a chance of your fish starving to death because you were trying to starve it to get it off of live foods, because a lot of these fish, especially like the one I'm going to show you, eat live fish in the wild. They're caught wild. They were just eating live fish. So it takes time to wean your fish off of live foods. So it takes it could take up to a week, honestly. I've definitely starved out a few different fish and got them off of live foods. I mean, my African pike, when I first got it, it would only eat live food for months. And then I finally weaned them off. And now you just see them in an 800-gallon pond yesterday. Same one. That was from years ago. So, yeah, the most important thing is keep your fish alive. I don't care what nobody say. Make sure that you keep your fish alive. You buy your fish. You can't get it on frozen foods or prepared foods or anything like that. Make sure your fish stay alive. That's my recommendation. So, if you have to get some live foods for it, you do that. There's a couple different strategies. When you are doing such a thing, you could buy your live foods, you could buy your minnows and everything. You could gut load them, which means that you feed them foods, get them really healthy, because a lot of the time these feeders are very unhealthy. They have diseases, all these different things. So that's why you don't really want to feed that to your fish. So I get that. So first, find you a reputable location where you could purchase your fish from. Make sure they don't have any diseases. And you feed them. So you buy them. If you have a tank for them, you could throw them in there. You could feed them in there, and then every day or every other day, you could grab a couple fish, throw them in there, feed your fish. So that way, you could treat them, you could feed them, and then you could feed your pet. But anyway, let's take a look at this arowana. So like I said, I have two fish that I am feeding live fish to, and that's because they were so expensive. I am not going to risk starving my fish to death because I don't want to feed it live. And why don't they eat live foods? Do you guys eat fish? Okay. So anyway, so let's take a look at my albino arowana. All right, y'all. So this right here is my albino arowana. And look at his tail. So let me back up. He's in here by himself. I just have in here a bunch of minnows that are feeders. So I had the Giardini in here, but look at his fins, look at the tail. That happened because the Giardini just kept on nipping at him, just kept on biting his tail. So that happened because the Giardini just kept on nipping at him, kept biting his tail. So that's how it looks. And that's the reason why he got moved out into a different aquarium. So I'm going to let this guy grow out. And then eventually maybe I can move him back, or I can move the Giardini into the 180 down below once I get rid of all the Dovii Feste fry. Nonetheless, we are not going to have any situations where we have fish just picking on each other and we know that's going on. Sometimes it happens without us knowing, and then it's too late before we're able to do something about it. In that case, it is what it is. Sometimes that happens. But like I was saying, so I keep all of these minnows in here. I feed the minnows. They don't have any ick. They don't have any diseases. They don't have anything like that going on with them, no parasites. So I'm comfortable with leaving these fish in here and letting my arowana eat whenever he wants to eat. And like I said, the Giardini is pretty much the same way, but he also eats pellets. So I haven't given him any more minnows since he's been in his new tank. But like I was saying, in a situation like this, it's going to be nothing to get him off of these feeders. I know some people are like, oh, once you start feeding him live, it's going to be hard to get him off food. How? If you get these fish from the wild and they were already eating other live fish in the wild, doesn't it take the same amount of time to wean your fish off of food? I think so. I know so, actually. So, best believe you can starve a full fish. You know your fish is eating and you want to get them on some prepared foods, frozen foods, anything like that. You can starve your fish, which means that you don't feed him anything for, 5 to 7 days. And then he'll eat. He'll eat some prepared food. He'll eat some frozen food or whatever the case may be. But in the meantime, just make sure that you keep your fish alive, especially when you have such a high price tag on your fish. This guy was almost this guy was $200. So this guy was $200. The Giardini was more than $200. And these little minnows are 20 cents. So, enough said, right? Yeah, so that's my opinion on, let's take a look at the side view. There we go, look at that side profile. So that's my opinion on feeding live. If you don't have to do it, that's amazing. But in the instance when you buy a fish and he won't eat anything else, you don't want to risk starving him, especially when you first get a fish. When you first get a fish could starve itself and perish. And you wasn't even trying to starve him out. It just won't eat and it'll perish. So my thing is, when you first get your fish, you need to get him eating. That's it. First and foremost, get your fish eating, making sure he's healthy, making sure that he's going to make it. That's the most important thing. Then, after you've had your fish for a while and he's healthy and he's acclimated and he's comfortable with you, then you could try focusing on starving out your fish and getting them off, live foods. But until then, the main goal, I think we can all agree, is to keep our fish alive. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if you think that there's something more important than keeping your fish alive, because I don't think it is. But yeah. So that's my opinion on it. I hope that you found some value in this content. So yeah, I hope that you found some value in this content. Like I said, I was just putting my 2 cents in on how I feel about feeding my fish live foods. I mean, I don't really like doing that at all. I don't like seeing that. Matter of fact, I don't even get to see him eat the fish. He eats them at nighttime. I have never seen him eat it, but I see that his stomach shows that he's been eating. Also, the fact that, the amount of fish I have in here has depleted. So anyway, if you found any value in this content, if you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, if you were inspired by something, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Hit the notification bell so you'll know every time I upload. And everybody, if y'all like the video, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.